Let me give you a choice. You get $100,000. Right now, no strings attached. Would you rather earn that money in the United States or save it in Canada? At first glance, they seem like equals. Same language, same continent, same fast food chains. But behind the scenes, the financial systems in these two countries are built completely differently. One rewards ambition, but punishes mistakes. The other protects its people, but limits how far you can rise. This is not just about who makes more. It's about who keeps more, who lives better, and who plays the money game and wins. Let's start with the one thing everyone cares about: income. Who's actually making more money? In the United States, wages are higher across the board. The average household income is around $75,000. There are more jobs, more companies, more investors, and more innovation. It is the land of startups, side hustles, and scaling businesses. You can go from 0 to 6 figures if you have the skills, the grind, and a bit of luck. It is fast, competitive, and full of possibility. But it is also brutal. Lose your job? You are on your own. No guaranteed unemployment cushion. No guaranteed health care. In Canada, the story is different. Average household income is lower, around 70,000 Canadian dollars, which converts to roughly 51,000 US dollars. There are fewer big companies, fewer flashy roles, and less of the startup culture. But there is more stability. Wages are more consistent. The risk of being completely left behind is lower. If you lose your job, there is a system to support you while you recover. In simple terms, the United States lets you run faster, but Canada is there to catch you if you fall. But it's not just what you earn, it's what you keep. Let's talk taxes and take-home pay. In the United States, the tax system favors the ambitious. Federal income tax rates start at 10% and go up to 37%. And in some states, like Texas or Florida, there is no state income tax at all. That means more money in your pocket. But here's the catch. You are also paying out of pocket for things Canadians get as public services. Healthcare in the United States is a massive personal expense. Even with insurance, you can face thousands of dollars in deductibles or surprise bills. In Canada, taxes are significantly higher. Income tax is combined between the federal government and each province. And there is a national sales tax on most goods and services, sometimes up to 15%. But in return, you get healthcare. You get affordable education. You get public programs that protect you in a crisis. So yes, Canadians keep less of each paycheck. But they also do not live in fear of a medical bill bankrupting their family. The United States gives you more take-home income. Canada gives you peace of mind. Which one would you rather have? Now let's break down what it actually costs to live in each country. Spoiler, it's not what you think. In most parts of the United States, day-to-day life is cheaper. Food, gas, clothing, electronics, all more affordable than in Canada. The American economy of scale means more supply, more competition, and lower prices. But again, the hidden costs are brutal. Healthcare is a massive financial burden. Even a short emergency room visit can cost $5,000 to $10,000. And the cost of higher education? It can range from $30,000 to $100,000 or more depending on the school. In Canada, everything from groceries to cell phone plans tends to be more expensive. Imported goods are taxed higher. The market is smaller, so prices are not as competitive. But when you need surgery, it's free. When your kid wants to go to university, it's manageable. And when the worst happens, you are not alone. Still, Canada has its own monster: housing. In cities like Vancouver or Toronto, real estate is more unaffordable than Los Angeles or New York when adjusted for income. You can earn a good living and still be unable to afford a one-bedroom apartment. The United States gives you lower prices. Canada gives you fewer shocks. The cost of living is not just about what you spend. It's about how often those costs surprise you. Let's move to what really builds long-term freedom: saving and investing. In the United States, wealth building is almost a national sport. Retirement accounts like the 401k and the Roth Individual Retirement Account are powerful tax shelters. There are also options like the Health Savings Account and a strong culture around investing in stocks, real estate, and even digital assets. If you know what you're doing, you can retire young. You can build passive income. You can turn a good salary into generational wealth. But you are playing a high-risk game. Markets crash. Healthcare wipes savings. And if you don't invest aggressively, inflation will eat your money alive. Canada is more cautious. The tax-free savings account is a simple but powerful tool. You can grow your investments without ever paying tax on the gains. Retirement accounts like the Registered Retirement Savings Plan are solid and easy to manage. But the culture is more conservative. There is less hype, less pressure to gamble, and fewer people chasing extreme early retirement. In short, in the United States, the financial ceiling is higher. In Canada, the floor is sturdier. Now let's talk about debt, because this is where things get dark. Americans are buried in consumer debt. Credit cards, student loans, medical bills, car payments. The average American household carries over $7,000 in credit card debt, often at interest rates of 20% or more. Add in $1.7 trillion in student loan debt and rising medical expenses, and you've got a country that looks rich on paper, but bleeds cash every month. It is a dangerous cycle. Earn more, spend more, owe more. And because the cost of living is unpredictable, a single illness or emergency can send you straight into bankruptcy. Canadians? They carry less credit card debt, but they are deeply leveraged through real estate. The average Canadian household owes about $1.85 for every $1 they earn. They are banking on housing prices always going up. That's risky. If housing prices drop or interest rates spike, monthly mortgage payments can double. Many Canadians are already struggling with debt-to-income ratios that would be unsustainable in most countries. So while the debt looks different, the pressure feels the same. Neither system is sustainable. One is driven by lifestyle inflation, the other by housing inflation. Either way, it is hard to build wealth when you are living on borrowed time. Here's something most people forget: currency power. $1 goes way further than the other, literally. The United States dollar is the world's reserve currency. That gives Americans a huge advantage in the global economy. Imports are cheaper. Investments have global reach. The dollar is used in oil trades, major corporate transactions, and held by governments as a safe asset. In times of crisis, the world runs to the United States dollar, not away from it. The Canadian dollar? It's stable but reactive. Its value rises and falls with oil prices, housing markets, and American monetary policy. Canadians have to brace for more currency volatility. So while life in Canada might feel more balanced, the United States still holds the financial microphone, and everyone listens. Next, let's talk about how easy or hard it is to move up the financial ladder depending on where you're born. In the United States, the wealth gap is massive. The top 10% of Americans control over 70% of the nation's wealth. If you are born rich, chances are you stay rich. If not, the climb is steep and brutal. But the ladder is there. It is possible to build from scratch, and stories of self-made success are everywhere. In Canada, the wealth gap is smaller. There's less extreme poverty and less ultra-wealth. It's harder to become a millionaire, but also harder to fall into total poverty. It's a flatter system. There's less extreme winning and losing, and more of a stable middle class. This affects not just wealth, but well-being. Canadian children born into poor families have a higher chance of moving up the income ladder compared to those in the United States. The United States gives you skyscrapers and sinkholes. Canada gives you sidewalks, slower, safer, and more even. And what happens when you stop working? Retirement and aging hit different in each system. In Canada, healthcare continues, no matter your age. You are not afraid of medical bills when you are 70. Government pensions like the Canada Pension Plan and Old Age Security provide a steady, if modest, retirement income. Most retirees can also draw from personal savings in their tax-free or retirement accounts. In the United States, the safety net is thinner. You get Social Security, but it may not be enough to cover even basic costs of living, let alone medical care. Healthcare costs rise as you age, and private insurance gets more expensive. If you did not invest well in your younger years, retirement in America can feel more like a deadline than a reward. Finally, what about how people actually live day to day? Work-life balance is a quiet deal breaker. It's not just about numbers, it's about quality of life. The average American works around 1,800 hours per year. The average Canadian? Closer to 1,050 hours. In the United States, vacations are shorter. Sick leave is limited. Burnout is more common. Work is fast, aggressive, and often unforgiving. Many workers are expected to answer emails at night and sacrifice personal time for career growth. In Canada, the pace is slower. There are more protections for time off, mental health, and personal well-being. You might earn less, but you get to spend more time living. The United States lets you chase money. Canada gives you time to spend it. So who wins? If you measure by income alone, the United States takes the lead. More jobs, bigger salaries, faster opportunities. If you measure by security and long-term sustainability, Canada comes out ahead. Fewer bankruptcies, better health care, a stronger safety net. But maybe that's the wrong question. Maybe it is not about which country wins. Maybe it is about who you are and what you value. If you are a builder, a risk-taker, someone who chases scale, you belong in the United States. If you are someone who values peace of mind, structure, and steady growth, Canada might be your path. So here is the question again, and now you can answer it with full context. If I gave you $100,000 today, would you rather earn it in the United States or save it in Canada? Let me know in the comments. If you made it this far, you probably care about money, freedom, and your future. So hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.